Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You are listening live to the Extreme Movie Show. I am your host, Rob, broadcasting to you from the Pinus Palace in the just west of Orlando, Florida. I've got RDV here and with me in the Extreme Studios, and I can't help but chuckle a little bit because I'm thinking, we're a few minutes late, RDV, because of my conspiracy theory mind, going over all sorts of stuff here. But in this case of conspiracy theories, which we're not going to mention at this point here on the Extreme Movie Show, we will say that for Tulsa King, Season 3, Episode 1 tonight, Blood and Bourbon, when you know they're out to get you, there is no conspiracy because we find out very quick that we got, I want to say, a bit more of a serious tone episode here for what's going on, but I don't know. It's a bit different. I like the inclusion of bourbon coming from an old family. So, as always, we love Stallone here. We'll watch anything with it too, but this feels like a setup episode rather than a lead-in with the regular crew. It just feels different to me, all the different players and stuff. What's your take on this so far?
So, I'll just say this: we have a new star in here.
Correct.
Well, we have two of them. We have a new girl. One of what's his name's exes comes into play. I forget what his name is. Garrett something. But I gotta look up what his name is. Mitch. Mitch's ex-girlfriend comes back in town before he went to prison. She meets him at the hippie. Yeah, hot hippie blonde. Kind of reminds me of Jenny from what was it called? Forrest Gump. Yeah, that states that kind of like 60s kind of like flower dress kind of thing.
We don't mention Forrest Gump on this show.
No, I will mention Forrest Gump because Forrest Gump's an awesome movie. So anyway, so her daddy has his distillery. He's being strong-armed out by a guy named Jeremiah.
The liquid metal T2 guy.
Yes. Jeremiah Dunmeyer. Why does Dunmeyer sound familiar? Maybe because I think of, like, I don't know. I thought maybe it was another character from another Taylor Sheridan, character, whatever, Mad Men. But because I know Dutton's a family name, but Dunmeyer is, it's Robert Patrick. Robert Patrick has come into this season as the main bad guy. Just to say, he basically wants the whatever reason he wants the distillery business. Apparently, he's been bad blood. They've been the Hatfield and McCoys, whatever we call them, or Hatfields and McCoys for their generation, for back forth, their daddies, but basically fighting over the land and stuff. And so he basically wants the guy's business. Mitch having basically been visited by his girlfriend at the killer dealership, where he says, I hate freaking working there. It's depressing. All he smells is nasty cars every time. And he's like, so he says, my girlfriend came in, try this. Because she gave him a little bottle of her daddy's, basically.
Are you a bourbon guy?
Bourbon guy. Not so much.
Are you a bourbon guy?
I'm not a bourbon guy. I'm a blood guy.
I'm not, and I know bourbon lovers go to great lengths to explain to me all the intricacies of it. And I could talk maybe a little beer, a little wine. I'm certainly no connoisseur, but bourbon is a big fucking deal in the Midwest. I know that.
It is. Kentucky. Well, you got Kentucky Wild, I believe, was another one.
Bourbon and horses. That's it.
Yeah.
Except maybe the Wildcats.
Yes. So basically, like, Mitch is interested in expanding his business now. So Robert Patrick being the big strong arm kind of reminds me of Reacher. We just got done revealing before as was season 2, I believe it was Reacher. Mm-hmm. Or Robert Patrick once again was a bad guy, strong arming people and doing stuff. It was kind of interesting because I heard Robert Patrick was going to be in this season. I also heard that Samuel Jackson's supposed to be in this season too as well.
Yes.
And I don't know when he's coming in, but he wasn't introduced this episode. But Roger Patrick was towards the end of this thing, playing the bad guy with the stupid haircut. But he's not the only one. We finally learned about who kidnapped Dwight in the beginning of this episode. It's a FBI. It is Kevin Pollak, the actor.
I don't mind him, but this angle sucks to me.
So he kind of had an idea. In the last season, remember they were watching Bullcheck?
Yes.
So they knew. So now here's the thing I only have with this. It's a guy apparently who's been obsessed with Dwight for the past 25 years. He was mad that Dwight kept his mouth shut because he ruined apparently some profile he was building against some other gangster, and Dwight came in and ruined it for him. Even though we both know that Dwight didn't kill the guy. And Dwight took the rap, even though he didn't kill him. So this guy already has a hate boner for him, for someone who didn't even do the crime.
Exactly. How dare you be a man of character,
So,
even if you did something illegal?
So the fact that Kevin Pollak's character kind of being like, "Oh, I'm gonna, you're gonna do what I tell you when I do you, because I know everything, and we're gonna threaten your family." So we already know he's getting whacked at the end of the season, and it's gonna be the most glorious way, because Dwight does not let people, basically boss him around. We saw that with Chicky, and an FBI agent. Obviously, I'm thinking this guy's dirty, automatically. Yeah, that seems to be the theme with a lot of the shows, lately. The cops are always bad or dirty. He's always a dirty cop. We've already seen that with the girl he was hooking up with when she didn't know Dwight was, who he was.
Yeah.
So I would not be surprised, if Pollak turns out to be dirty. We already know he's a dick and he has a vendetta against him. So more. So like I said, whenever they bring these characters in, and we already know Dwight does not take shit. So yeah, I'm looking forward to their final, third season, see what happens with those two. But
it's a little too easy to, corrupt cop, especially agent says you're gonna be my little bitch. It's like, okay.
Yeah. Other side plan we had going on is Bodie's still pissed because of Jimmy's death. He's still grieving, but he's mad because he was at the weed shop and he's told to go with Grace and what's the guy's name is Jay? Okay, is that his name? No, is that the actual name? Who's the guy, the driver, the one they picked up, and they went to go because they went to go basically meet. No, not Bigfoot. The other one, the kid.
Oh, pothead guy.
Well, no, Bodie's pothead guy. I'm talking about the driver, the one that got in trouble last season because he shot a guy.
Oh, okay. You're talking about the guy. Okay, it's
Wilson.
Is it Wilson? What the hell is his damn name? Because he got his hair done differently in here. He's trying to dress like a player.
Cornrows, yeah. I gotta look up the actual thing. But anyway, those three are basically sent on an errand to go deliver the money because Belichick made a deal with them. He basically gets 15%.
Tyson. That's it.
Tyson. Yeah.
That's it.
So those three are basically sent. Grace, Tyson, and Bodie are sent to go basically by Dwight's sister to go deliver the money. And when Dwight goes a little hissy fit. I want to go there. So it's like he ends up going, and he picks up Tyson. Tyson's, and here's the thing about Tyson. Tyson is also getting way into this. He's cosplaying, at this point.
Yes, that's a great way of saying it.
Oh man, it's
he hasn't been challenged yet.
No. So after this, they go pick him up. He goes out there. What the hell is this shit? It's an electric car. Because Bodie is a big belief in everything, hippie cars are kind of going stop. And he's like, what? And he's like, dude, and Tyson's like, I can't be seeing this gay shit. It's like, I gotta like my own whip, And of course, we're watching this as they're in the car. They're listening to, was it the Violent Femmes or what we're listening to? There's some like weird, like,
I don't know that stuff. That's like music you hear and you don't know.
Well, they, the subtitles had basically I watched the subtitles. But here's the point: it was some gay song. It's some bad song I don't care about. Older song, but anyway, so as they're supposed to meet him in Kansas City, or at the border rather, and Bodie's car suddenly it's low on charge, and he's like, oh shit, so we have to go charge, so he calls Tyson ends up calling Dwight. Dwight calls Manfredi and calls Belichick, and I love this. He's like, get Belichick on the line. So he gets cash flow. He's a big old biker, muscular guy, and he's like, I love how he's so like very intelligent. He's not that's the normal. What do you want me to do? But he's not a meathead, and he shows Dwight and like, okay, patch him through. They're on a party line, and I love this because we've seen this in the movies where they have the screen will go right here. It's like one guy on here, and they talk, and then it moves to another guy, and then it goes up, and then there's the other guy. They're on the phone call together. And Tyson explains what happened, and Belichick's, I don't give a shit. It's like, I want my money now, and I want more. He's like, no, fuck this. It's like, you're going to send your guys over there, meet them there, get the money. So they're like, okay, well, Bodie fucked up at this point. The guys show up there. We see the guy who basically clearly shot Jimmy.
Yes.
And Bodie is fucking livid. He doesn't show it at first. So then he's like, they basically like Tyson's like, hey, just shut the fuck up. Let me do this. I'll
Yeah,
handle this.
Tyson wants to be front and being like the main player and all that.
Yes,
And
cosplay
this
again.
is kind of funny because it's awkward. The guys are like, we don't give a shit. Just give us the money.
Yeah, he's like snaps his fingers and he's like, dude, snap my fingers. And Grace, oh, the money. Yeah, it's like, yeah. She grabs it.
I like Grace.
Yeah, Grace is so great. It's cool. So he's a great character. Like I said, she's one of our breakout characters from the first season that kind of doesn't really evolve, getting more responsibility and stuff. She was promoted to manager of the shop, last season. Anyway, so they open up the bag, and the guys open up a Belichick's men, and they see it's all a bunch of comic books in there. And he's like, "What?" He's like, oh, my bad, I left it at the shop. And so I'm thinking like this point, like, Bodie, you fucking asshole, you're gonna get somebody killed because you're fucking little pissy fit.
Yes.
And so Grace and Tyson stay there they basically hand their guns over, and they basically are there at gunpoint. Bodie goes with the guy who killed Jimmy. They go back to place, and he's getting the money out. He pulls out a 9mm on him, and they basically like and he tells him, he's like, basically puts a gun up to the guy's throat. He's like, you're the fucking asshole that killed my friend, because I guess here's the one thing you don't know. I have a photographic memory. Let me explain to you what it is. I see your fucking face at 50 times a fucking day. It's like, and the guy's like, what the hell? And he's like, yeah, I know it's you. You killed my best friend for no reason. You're aiming for both of us, but you're a shitty shot, And so and he's like, now he's against the gun with He's like, Bodie's like, dude, why don't you repeat after me? I'm a piece of shit. And thank you for sparing my worthless piece of shit life. So he does that, and then Bodie pistol whips him, a little bit. But he's like, okay, take your fucking money and get out of here. And then as soon as the guy leaves, Bodie just drops his gun. And I'm thinking that gun should have went off.
What did you think of this whole Bodie development? Because it was done well. I don't know.
Yeah.
I honestly kind of was like, man,
here's my thing though.
Stupid. And then
I don't know if that was planned between him and Dwight, but obviously, apparently, Dwight confirms that he basically had Bodie explained his side of the story when Belichick was angry, called up on the phone.
Yep.
And then he's like, next time it's like, I want more. He's like, and he just hangs up on Belichick. I love that.
I didn't like it. Because even though I thought Bodie did a good job with kind of being smart, planning it out, doing all that, a part of me goes, okay, if I'm Stallone there and I got my crew, and these aren't like legitimate mafia guys, they're at the ragtag group, and yeah, they're loyal to him, but I've always felt Bodie being one of the first ones that he stronged armed, the first season.
Yeah.
I go, and it's just like Tyson. You and I were talking about at one point, I think in season 2, the idea, especially with Tyson's father, the angle of it, that maybe it would be nice to see Tyson go from, as you say, cosplayer, which is a great description, to a guy that gets a little bit bitter and might all of a sudden become big time fucking thug that might all of a sudden, have a beef with him.
Sucks that Tyson's dad, he did survive. That's right. He didn't die.
But it still robs the show to me of this almost more mature, serious feeling of it. I know the show's supposed to, I guess, not be that way, but
a little bit lighthearted comedy,
like that, and then Bodie did this, I'd be like, fuck, Stallone's gonna have a hard time getting everybody, on the same page. This is pretty cool.
Well, here's the thing.
But then he just says, yeah, I get what's going on. That's it. It's not a big deal.
Well, here's the thing. We don't know what's gonna happen later on, but Bodie is gonna be Bodie is gonna cause problems with him.
Well, we'll see.
I think right now Dwight doesn't feel that Belichick's, a threat. But Bodie doing that shit without telling anybody, itself is gonna cause problems. But as Dwight explains it, it's like, well, your guy did whack his best friend. How would you fucking feel? It's like, but yeah, it's under control. That's it. Mm-hmm. Now here's the thing. Now, if Bodie is gonna pout and do this bullshit again, Dwight's gonna have to do something. Know. And also, there's gonna be, if anybody escapes, away from all this whole entire life at the end of the series, it's be Grace.
Why?
Because Grace has not done anything bad. She's like I said, it's always the bad people that always pay. As far as the innocent person, Grace really hasn't done anything evil, karmic. Give us any reason.
But here's the thing too: it didn't really. If we think of the end of last season and developments from 1 and 2, no matter how he acquired his businesses, the pot place, the car place, and all that, he's trying to make him look legitimate on the surface, so in a way he can sort of say, yeah, I'm a mafia guy, but I'm not doing anything illegal. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a good front,
Yeah.
right? It's not just going around and collecting the envelope from everybody that you're giving protection to that old school way, right? A shakedown. So even though he's shaking people down, I thought, okay, are they going to take season 3 and put it where he's got this ragtag group of people and he's going to having to be that father figure to him because he's trying to go on the straight and narrow because of his family and all that. And like you say, there's some mature ways they can go about doing it. And that's not to suggest it's immature or bad show, but I just, the whole thing, like I say with Sheridan's shows, to some of them that I've tried watching, is I get they're adults and they have flaws and all that, but I can't find one or two central figures to kind of, put myself in the shoes of. Here, obviously, it's Stallone and there's some funny stuff, but I just think the show might be missing a bit there because we're not getting a chance to kind of see it. Unlike, say, Landman, let's say, for example, in the first season where they went a certain way and stayed that way the whole season. You know what I'm saying? So it's just different. I think the show's supposed to tease a little bit, but just be more comedy element to it.
Well,
and it is what it is.
That's what it was in the first season. It was a drama with comedy, lighthearted comedy in it and stuff. And it kind of seems they're keeping them that same theme. They haven't really gone too comedic, that I think of.
No, the funny scene I thought that was good was what you just mentioned, where he doesn't quite know how to use his cell phone to do like a group call or whatever like that.
Yeah, I know.
And that makes sense because that's the fish out of water. I'm old. I don't know these things, right? Okay, and it makes sense because in a real stressful time here, you got to make it right. Here's the right play. He goes right in the action. That's great. And then the comedy thing about, guys, we'll just sit down. Don't need to have the guns on us because it's going to be a couple hours. Your arms are going to get tired. And I go, yeah. That's there to distract you from the fact that Bodie's smart enough to not fuck up like he did. And that was great. That's why I say it was done great. It was a nice distraction.
Yeah.
And then when Bodie tries to pistol up the guy and strong arm, I'm like, if you're going to be that guy, Bodie, you should really fuck him and we should not see it coming and you should turn coat to the other fucking side because out of everybody in that group, you're the one that's smart enough to, I think, could do it. And I'm not saying you got the balls, but somebody's got to turn on him and go to the team. I don't think
somebody will unless Bodie turns on the FBI, but the FBI doesn't give a shit about Bodie. He doesn't have enough leverage on him. And they're now with Pollaki, basically controlling Dwight. He's like, he calls him up. He's like, oh, yeah, I saw your son spending time with Monogram, basically is the girl's father when he was on Still Street. And he's like, oh, you got eyes on me? I'm like thinking Dwight. It's like, of course he got eyes on you because the guy's upset. He's got a hate boner for you, bro. He's going to be watching you 24/7. He had said so. So other things we got to talk about is that, well, first of all, I'll explain. I do call him Bavilichite because Bevilacqua sounds retarded. Okay,
it sounds a little too swishy.
Yeah. I sound. Yeah, I don't. But anyway,
I'm fine with it, Belichick. I know who exactly you're talking about.
Exactly. Yeah. So Stallone's sister, Scarlett, plays Spencer. She's now got a job working at the bar. She's the bartender now. That's a new thing. She went. From, I don't know if she's still working at the horse ranch or not, but anyway, the only person that knows what's going on with Dwight and who took him is Dana Delany's character, Margaret.
Yes.
And he basically came clean to her and told her, he's like, the feds have been watching this all the time and stuff. So he tries to break it up in the beginning of the episode. Towards the end of the episode, she shows up and says, like, dude, it's like, hey, I'm in this no matter what. Who gives a shit? They have stuff on me. I don't give a shit. She said, I'm with you, ride or die. So just proving her loyalty and how badass of a woman she is.
And I remember thinking, oh, it would be great if she were, strong female character in a town like that, mid-sized town or whatever, that's kind of like maybe old money or whatever with the horse ranch and everything like that. If she wasn't quietly her own kind of mafia type business presence, you know what I'm saying, like a name, and that eventually it would be like those two going to war when it's supposed to start stuff, and it doesn't seem that way at all. It's like, why bother doing all that stuff about her just to her be a lovesick puppy to him?
So we're gonna have two villains again.
Yes.
So it looks like we're gonna have Jeremiah Johnson, but Jeremiah Dunmire. Jeremiah Dunmire
is dead. He is not coming back. They shot him in that movie and he never came back.
So Jeremiah Dunmire, Robert Patrick's gonna be the villain for Dwight, but on the other front, he's gonna be going against Samuel Jackson. I'm guessing he's gonna be the big bad villain because that's basically Pollak says, I'm gonna send you somewhere because he's gonna use him to get to somebody, and I guarantee that's gonna be Samuel L. Jackson.
But now the fact that we're doing season 3, right? Because it just dropped.
Yeah,
they've already confirmed season 4. So imagine they got to have a story arc with it. They would know whether or not
it's going to
be in the next
season. Right? 2 parts story thing. And then here's my thing. I don't mind if they break up the season in the or a story in the 2 different seasons as long as there's an ongoing subplot. You know,
Yes, has to be.
that
Yeah.
and then and they kind of done that already before. So I'm hoping that they continue with that. Like I said, it's been a great show. Um, I've never watched any other than Landman. I've never watched any other Taylor Sheridan show, but honestly, this guy knows what he's doing, and it's just been a fun ride. You know, I don't know if Stallone's got in this in the story wise, but I said it's been authentic, it's been great, entertaining, and apparently Paramount loves it because we saw what they did with Rabbit Hole.
Yes, whacked
You
it.
know, which was dumb because that was a good show too. Maybe Rabbit Hole hit too close to home when it comes to the government, shadow government. Anyway, but Tulsa King has just been fun. Every season of Tulsa King has been entertaining. I don't think that I hate any season worse than the other for me. And now villains go, and like we had Neal McDonough was like the bad villain, from last season, but we also had I don't think he was the big bad because we had other ones. Like I said, it just feels like we got mini bosses.
No, that's exactly what I was going to say because they always give us the whole tension between where he's at Tulsa and going back home to New York. So he meets kind of the replacement, which is
he meets
Quiet Ray. I think it's the guy's name.
Yeah,
older guy.
Quiet Ray. Yeah,
who had a nice sit down, but I'm like, the guy's not intimidating. I know he's an old boss, but come on, man.
So Quiet Ray, it was but he has to go to New York, and he's like, well, I can't really go. It's not a good time. He's like, make it a good time. You get country up here, go there. So he visits there, like a little festival thing. Meets with Quiet Ray. Quiet Ray basically says, I'm gonna give you like your own thing, territory. And he's like, but you got to share with me. He's like, he's like, I don't want to share. He's thinking about sharing. You share with only people you like,
Mm-hmm.
people, and he's basically so he's gonna have no problem with New York again. And here's the thing, though. This guy is Quiet Ray is part of the other. There was a couple different like Dons, I guess,
yes,
or whatever. We saw them last season.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones that removed Chicky from power.
Yes.
So this guy is he says he tries to appeal to Dwight, basically tries to kiss his ass and says like, oh, I didn't like what they did to Chicky and his family. They got what it deserved,
Mm-hmm.
But he basically try to smooth things over at Dwight, but Dwight, and he really realized that Dwight doesn't give a shit. Dwight's like, what are you gonna do? It's like, you're in New York, I'm in here. Send your men. We'll send them back in a body bag. How about that? So honestly, Dwight's. Here's the thing I love about Tulsa King. No matter what Dwight does, and this is about this life too, you always have multiple enemies. You never just have one.
Yes.
So he's basically caught between now 3 enemies. He's got Kevin Pollaki from the FBI, he's also got Robert Patrick, and then he's he's got Sugar Ray or Quiet Ray, coming after him.
Sugar Ray. Oh God.
But like I said, it's let's just see what happens, and then we have to get Bill Club, Frank Grillo. Will he have more of a role in this season, or is he kind of taking a back burner because they have so much star power now?
Well, the thing with the Bourbon angle I thought was interesting because it goes, oh, that makes sense to me. It's one thing they've done in each of the seasons is they've built on something that's somewhat recent, like not just the pot farms, but the fact that it's in been legalized and everything, and that's currently in our social culture, right? Well, whether you believe in it or not, or all that kind of stuff, it's smart to use that kind of stuff, right? So this Bourbon thing I like because it's old school, and as the owner says, my grandfather had it. We were actually around since before United States, technically a couple of years, whatever it was. And so there's a nice sit down with Robert Patrick and him, where Patrick's saying, well, hey, wait a minute, we
had a deal,
we had a deal, and he goes, I was made a much better offer, and he goes, okay, and he leaves.
Did you love the intensity?
Yeah.
Did you love the intensity, like the intensity when he
Here's the problem with the scene. I think they're not doing their villains a service at all by making them somewhat menacing, in that Robert Patrick, I thought, did fine, but they're dressing him basically like your 1930s Southern hick, religious kind of dude that just stares at you, wants to talk about the moral majority, right?
We first see him doing the moonshine. He's got the old 1920s, basically like the stuff we saw with in Yellowstone, or not Yellowstone, but 19 whatever it was with Harrison Ford. How the guys used to dress the beige sleeves and other stuff. when he does the
He's got a
moonshine.
straw hat, for God's sakes.
Yes.
Nobody wears that. Not even to the Kentucky fucking Derby.
Yeah, but he's not going to Kentucky Derby. You know, he said this is also an old school guy. You know, he said these guys are not your typical everyday schmucks that go to grocery store and stuff. These are like
you know how it makes somebody look like a plebe that's supposed to be professional. You instead of they're wearing like a dress shirt, you make it short sleeves. It's such a weak look for any male.
I don't know. Like I said, I thought Robert. The only thing that was less threatening was his hair. For Robert Patrick,
it was even bad 1950s crew.
But and he's getting up in age. Though, like I said, Robert Patrick has always had that crazy look ever since he played the T1000. You know?
Yeah, and they didn't even.
And then he was also what was he also not in Heat? He was another one. It was another big movie he was in. But anyway, he's always played the bad guy.
Yeah,
and I love him for that. Bring him in here playing this. It's a huge step up from Peacemaker.
Well, I think you're thinking of the cameo he had in Wayne's World.
No.
I'm messing with you.
No. So Wayne's World was one of the 3 times he played the T1000. Yeah. I'm not talking about that. It was at 12 rounds with John Cena.
Oh, I didn't see that. I'm not. I can't see a Cena film.
It's either 12 rounds or Marine, but he had praised John Cena's acting.
I'm mad at Blade 3.
I love Blade 3 of the little dog.
Well, here's the thing I thought was most interesting. When Mitch's old girlfriend comes up, she basically is trying to reconnect with him, and I liked her handing him the bottle and they're reconnecting because obviously they got a lot of chemistry. And then, of course, the son comes up when they're going to meet the father, and they're having like a yard sale there. It looks like it's the fall and all that. So I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool. And then the guy's son shows up to basically, act like a real dick, like, yeah, you're gonna meet you, and he's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, Cole.
Yeah,
Cole Dunmire.
He's not even a douche. He's just a dipshit.
You know what he reminded me of? A crappy little
autistic
guy.
Adam Devine.
No, he reminded me of the
Down syndrome.
Not Jake, but whatever the guy's name was on Vampire Diaries. He was like the werewolf guy. He was like the guy like Caroline, the stupid little like douchebag who was always a jerk to everybody. And like he's a typical douche jock thing. He's basically the kind of like the guys who tried to beat up Reacher in the last season. Little kid. Yeah. Like the stupid town jerks. Yeah, you're gonna cry and stuff. It's like, dude, get the fuck out of here. Actually, no. Actually, no. Was that season? I remember in season 2. I'm thinking of
2. Yeah, it was 2.
It was two with the guy in the pickup truck. Yeah. Or no, actually no.
No,
take it back.
3 actually the one we just watched. There was
no. Actually, take it back. It was the first season. The first season, the guy in the pickup truck.
Yeah,
his dad. Yeah. Then when Reach. Yeah. So get against. Anyway. So yeah, typical douchebag guy, who basically has always had a thing for this girl, and she wants nothing to do him because he's a creep, But him throwing his weight around here, we see him because, like Robert Patrick is at the ending scene here. Robert Patrick basically was like, "Well, it's like it's a shame, Basically, it's like talks to the guy. The guy says, "Well, guy, give me a better deal." It's like and this house has been passed around. And I'm not giving you any of my shit, And so. The guy, what does he do? Robert Patrick walks out calmly after taking a little candy wrapper off the desk, and eats it, and then walks out. Sends his goons in, but not his goons. He sends Cole in there with the goons. And Cole, you see Cole, someone have like a kind of like a conscience at first. He kind of holds back and he's kind of listening. He's like almost like he regrets this, like he hates this part. But they basically beat up old guy. And here's the thing: that the dad, the first thing I thought was like, this is like Robert Patrick versus Wilford Brimley.
Exactly. Well, you know what? But the only problem is, I really didn't like this because not what happened, because you can see coming a mile away, but because you see a mile away, you go, how does somebody who's not going, look, they set it up a couple times with Stallone there across from the guy's desk talking, and it's great back and forth. But the guy does a great job acting. He's clearly uncomfortable, basically saying, it's a complicated situation. I would be interested in your offer. I just can't accept it. And he's not whining or complaining. He's doing it was very compelling, actually. I really like that a lot. And you see, like, the old house, and you feel like that's a part of where they're at. That's cool. But the problem is then when Patrick, who, basically is kind of emasculated already because of how shitty they make him dress and how he walks off.
I disagree. I think that's a huge
I
problem.
understand you disagree, but it's so cliche where he walks and then the houses get set on fire with all his goon squad or whatever. It's like, how do you know you're telling this guy that is as evil as he is that you're going to take some other guy's deal? You have zero security on your property because things have been toughened. I mean, I just don't understand that at all. It makes zero sense plot-wise. You've got somebody walking the grounds, even if it's the maintenance crew.
So here's the thing: we don't know if the guy survives or not. If they killed him, throw him and have him die in the fire. And that's the case. I'd be stupid because who gets the government takes the property, or it goes to the daughter if you have a will.
Well, it depends on how the will's written.
Yeah.
It usually goes to family.
Well, we don't know. We don't know if he's dead or not. But it's like here. That's the example. It's like I said, they're trying to. They needed to end this episode, the first episode, with a bang, with a thing. They're really amping up the fact that Dwight is now into something he probably shouldn't have got involved in, with the weed business. He had a Neal McDonough, and I think Robert Patch is going to be a little more dangerous than probably a Patrick.
But immediately what came to me is
Patrick McDonough.
Would it have been a better, more serious scene if he just walks off quietly and he's pissed, and then maybe the next scene is he's walking into like the car shop and then the weed store and everyone's kind of like joking behind his back about what an idiot is, and then you're like, oh, they don't want to fuck with this guy. And then he says or does something that lets them know that they're going to get fucked. I mean, that would have been more simmering rather than this. You see what I'm saying?
I think what your problem is the fact there wasn't a build up to this whole rivalry.
Exactly. And you don't go back to the burning house or show anything more, but you've already gotten rid of something that was a beautiful setup, which the theme here, it's not weed, it's not the windmills and electrical stuff and the Indians in one season.
No.
It's the whole history and culture around alcohol. And I thought that's great. And then like I said, get rid of it like that.
Yeah. So yeah, the burn up was, like I said, it was so cool to see it in flames stuff. But here's the thing though. Look at this cliche. When he walked in there, and he's like, the guy's like, "Oh, that's unfortunate." It's like, I thought maybe they're just gonna beat him up, but when they lit the house on fire too, it was like, "Oh, damn, you had to do both. You couldn't just do one," And I'm thinking, so if they did murder him, here's the thing though, Dwight when he had sat down with this guy, he said like, well, yeah, the daughter, can you take a cut or whatever that's, so I'm thinking like, so this daughter is gonna be basically in charge of everything. That's what I'm thinking now, because if he's dead, the will probably has it to her. And Mitch is kind of like, here's the thing with Mitch. Mitch is going to be kind of distracted by her because this is a little flame. It's going to cause more problems with Dwight. Dwight's got this shit going on. He can't deal with it right now because of the fact that he's got, the FBI, and then now he's got Quiet Ray and all the crap. And here's the thing I love these about this. Every season like this, Dwight's under pressure. It just feels like whenever Dwight moves one step forward, he takes two steps back. And he's kind of said this before in the series before too. It's like, I feel like, it's like I don't know what to do, and like, so I'm looking forward to this season.
Yeah, and I agree with you because he does have a line there when he's on the car and he says, "Dang it, it's the same old shit. Nothing ever." Changes or like, sure, you got rid of one problem last season. Now you got a new one.
Yep. That's what I mean. I really thought that Dwight was going to have this old girlfriend actually get with her, and then she starts working for him at the car dealership to sell cars.
I'm just looking forward to seeing if they do something with some of these side characters rather than they're just there until they need them. If that makes sense.
Do you think they're gonna have his daughter, Scarlett, or her name is, Stallone's daughter in real life? She's the one that the barkeeper. Do you think she's gonna have more of a role this year?
Well, I mean, they've shown her enough where you realize she's somebody. She worked with the horses, right, as a tender there, and now she's there. So she's quietly moving up the ranks. Not that Stallone, I think, is trying to make her the star or anything, but
no.
Bodie, now that we see this other side of Bodie, we shouldn't forget that, and it should.
And
simmer and escalate as the episodes go on. In my opinion,
we saw the kids, and I don't know if it's the same actor, the same kids from last season. But they look older. Clearly, look older if they were those kids,
right?
And when he went to New York, but we didn't see Tina.
Yes, we did not. We'll see her, I'm sure.
Tina's not there. We also know that Andrea Savage is around somewhere.
Mhm.
aka old flame Stacy Beal, the one the FBI agent girl. She's probably gonna pop up probably later in the series. I don't think
Which
she's
is
done.
probably going to be the eyes and ears of Kevin Pollak, right?
You think so? Maybe.
Well, I mean, you got rid of her, made her central in season 1, then you slowly get
Yeah.
rid of her, and now, yeah, I could see it happening.
I mean, are we done with Armand?
God, I
Armand?
hadn't even thought about him because he had such a
Yeah.
little impact to me.
Yeah. From last season, how they went after the bad guy, tricked him and stuff, let him there.
Well, you know what? I agree with you. I'm looking forward to the season because honestly, regardless of how I think the show could have done something or things I might tend to like, there was a hell of a lot packed in this first episode, right? And because of what they've done the first 2 seasons, they do have that overall arc where they
Mhm.
could do some of these things here. So I think I look at like this 10-season show mostly is almost like 3 acts, like a regular episode that a lot of people like to write. In the
Yeah.
first couple, you're going to see all the characters you're going to be exposed to. The middle 3 is shit getting thick, and then the last 2 or 3 are it all kind of working out. And that's kind of been the template. So I think we'll definitely see some characters we either haven't seen for a while or newer ones we're going to see in the next episode or 2. I think it's a lock. How do you have Samuel Jackson hold him back?
Yeah, I'm looking at the actress who basically took over for Cleo Montague came in here. So that's Bella Heathcote, who she's known from Dark Shadows 2012. She was in Scrublands. She's an Australian actress, and Professor Marston and the Wonder Woman and all this other stuff. So it's Relic. It's a small time actress, 38 years old, but and then we have the other thing I want to bring up is, and this is I love this because I love Goody's character. And Goody is just a fun character. He comes back with the freaking because basically the Montagues are having a lawn sale, garage sale, everything must go yard sale, and he grabs like a spinner wheel and stuff. He's like, "I'll get this for my mom." A great thing. He's like, "Okay, Rumpelstiltskin, get in the car." So it's just Freddy, just the stupid little stuff like that. But I always love seeing Goody in here because Goody. But for a while, we didn't know if he was being loyal or not, the chickie, whatever.
Yeah,
But
that's
it
true.
proves his loyalty. And so I just love seeing Goody in here too. And I love seeing Stallone's the actress who plays his sister, Annabella Sciorra. The only one we haven't really seen was the pothead kid. Was that Vincent? Or who is the one that was hanging with Grace in the first season? He was the other one at the.
Oh yeah, he worked in the he worked in the shop there in the background talking about foods and stuff. No, we haven't, but he'll be there. They'll throw him up there again and go, "Oh yeah, you're supposed to remember this guy." It's like, why? He hasn't done shit.
Right. So, but I do, as much as I love Frank Grillo, I don't know how much we're gonna see much of him in there and all, other than just the guy grab his money, but there might be consequences of the fact that he pistol whipped the guy and stuff. We don't know if that guy's gonna go half cock and say, because he's already a hothead as it is. When he was the other guy had his arm broken.
Yeah.
Because Tyson basically drove the car into him. Yeah. Well, after and fired and hit winged him. So we honestly, with Robert Patrick's character coming in, showing that he's basically old school. Like I don't take crap. I feel like he's the person that should have been Neal McDonough, or at least should have been introduced first, because Neal McDonough's character was a weak sauce.
He was. They didn't give him.
And I feel
a good run.
I feel like the reason that you're kind of like don't really like Patrick Patrick's character so far, somewhat Robert Patrick's character so far, is because we got Neal McDonough was a milk dud, and this kind of seems like the same thing.
Yeah.
But Robert Patrick always plays the same type of characters on the guy you don't want to fuck around with because he doesn't give a shit. Now, we saw him on Reacher, season 2. He was the guy who's going after Reacher's team now. He was a pussy. And this one, he's clearly opposite. So I'm glad with that. He's not afraid, to do shit. Now, we haven't seen him physically hurt anybody yet, though, but I want to start seeing that shit. I want to see him taking somebody and when he's explaining about the benefits of moonshine, how we make it, and then burning somebody, with moon,
Yeah,
lighting on fire.
You basically let you bash a ball over somebody with bourbon and light them on fire.
Yeah,
man, that sounds really good. See, and that's the kind of stuff we need in here.
Maybe bring it back to the moonshine when he's doing the moonshine. The jar. destroying
I
somebody's
think
face.
it's going to go back to an old. When I say Romeo and Juliet, I don't mean love interest, but I mean two warring factions that go back, and it's the same thing. It's
we got Mitchell versus Cole.
Well, no, but what I'm saying here, at least for season 3, is you've got this guy that's the holier than thou guy producing alcohol, and then you've got this one guy that seems to be on the up and up that just got burned down allegedly. That's the real owner of the alcohol and all that too. So I think what it is they both probably their families were partners back in the day, had a split, that kind of thing.
Montague and the Dunmeyers, yes, they've been at each other's throats. The dad, grandfathers, So I said we're going for the real Hatfield and McCoy. And I was like,
that's it. There was a lot going on. I agree with you. It's entertaining. Stallone's always fun to watch. If he wasn't in here, I don't know if I'd be compelled to watch it because of the lack of attachment to the other characters. I know who they are. I don't hate them. I don't love them. They're sort of there. I like how he's got a motley crew. That's cute. The only thing I'll say about this is that it made me think fondly of how you had Chicky that ended up like drowning the guy, then shaving his head, and then like you could see him growing. I thought this guy's gonna be a fucking menace. It's great. And then even the guy that we thought was, going to fuck him and all that turns out to be the guy that helps, save the day and shoots him. I thought that's a fucking horrible payoff. That's like turn the channel.
Here's my other prediction, because we know that Samuel Jackson is going to be coming in. If he's going to be the bad guy that Manfredi said to go after, be Chummy, I see those two teaming up and taking down Pollaki.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So. I'm looking forward to that because Kevin Pollak always plays the freaking little nerd dweeb.
He came across as the dickish and the least amount of screen time here. I will give him credit for that. He made me go, I can't wait to get fucked.
Right? Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to that the most. Robert Patrick, that's great and whatever, but he hasn't really done anything personal to Dwight yet. Where this guy pretty much humiliated Dwight, and threatening his woman and his people, and Dwight's like, no, Dwight does not like that. Last guy did that, shot him in the head.
Yeah.
Actually,
I want to thank everybody for listening tonight or whatever as we continue. We'll continue Tulsa King on Tuesdays, our Tulsa King Tuesdays for now. And then I'll be continuing with Professor Pixel, the 2 episodes in a row series of Hannibal. We just did episode 1 and 2. That was well received. We're going to be doing 3 and 4 this week. So I'm looking forward to that. So guys, if you have anything you'd like us to review, let us know. Other than that, RDV, you got anything?
Nope, that's about it. Stay tuned for more stuff on Tulsa Tuesdays. That's gonna be our thing now. Because these do air on Sunday nights, but it gives me a chance to watch it and set up the stream. And then Sundays will be either movies or maybe another TV show episode. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
We've got Miami Nights coming towards the end of this year, going into the new year. So I just want everybody to know that. Start looking for your versions of Miami Vice because we're going to definitely be reviewing that as well.
Yeah. All right.
Good night now.
Later, guys.